Hey everyone, so I thought it might be interesting to do a little screen recording to go through a little bit of my arranging process when I'm working out songs to share with students on Patreon or workshops or just for my own enjoyment, actually, for that matter. So I've been thinking about what song might be nice to do for sort of a intermediate kind of level finger picker. And everyone loves the song. I think it's just a lovely song, Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen. It was obviously made a big, even more famous by the late great Jeff Buckley. He recorded it on his album Grace back in the early 2000s, I think. And so it's a lovely song in 6/8 time, and it's sort of typified by this kind of 6/8 sort of arpeggio. I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you? Etc. So actually the song is originally in C. But I'm transcribing it in G because I feel like it sits a bit more pleasingly under the fingers when it comes to putting the melody on the guitar along with the arpeggios, because it allows the melody to be higher register and separated out from the arpeggios a little bit more with a bit more space. Whereas in C, the open chords, it's all very constricted. You have to play the melody in like within the same octave as some of the bass notes. So that I didn't find that ideal. When I'm still working on, that's the point. But it's just that was my initial thoughts. So if you wanted to put this in the original key, there'd be no issue. You could just capo at the 5th fret, and it would make it really sweet sounding anyway. And I'll show you what I mean actually. Anyway, what I'll do is I'll just show you what I've done so far, and then I'll work through a little bit on the next section. So this is what we've got. I'll take the capo off just so it's a bit more obvious. So it starts off with these arpeggios, and then the melody. Sorry. Okay, so that's what we've got to so far. So my process with this is usually I would write out the melody first, and then arrange everything into these 4 bars to each system. Write out the melody, and then add little accompaniment part to it afterwards. For this song, I'm kind of working on the two things concurrently. And I'm trying to, the way it's sung, there's quite a lot of vocal the phrasing makes it it's quite nuanced. There's quite a lot of very sort of subtle syncopations because it's quite a slow song. But so I've had to straighten out some of it a little bit just so that it's a little easier to play. As I say, I don't want this to be like super difficult to play. If you're a sort of intermediate-y kind of standard player, you know, with some work, you should be able to probably get close to it or get it under your finger. So that was what I was aiming for. So rather than at the, trying to make it like super accurate, it was more like something that's achievable and musical. That's generally my remit with these sorts of little projects. So what I'm going to do is go on to the next section, and just for I'm going to zoom in a little bit here on the screen, and I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to separate this into 4 bars. So I'll just put the cursor there, break the system so that I've got 4 bars to be working with. So I've got up to, the next line is, well, it goes like this: the 4th, the 5th, the minor fall and the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah is the next bit. So it's a lovely bit of writing because he references the 4th and the 5th, which obviously is chords 4 and 5 in the key, and that's what's being played. So it's quite it's a little bit of a sort of musical well, it's not a joke because it's a fairly serious song, but you know what I mean? It's a nice little musical reference within the lyrics. So so actually it goes like this. The word "it" is on the end of this line here. So I need to put a melody note in here, and it is. Oops. Is there. So I'm gonna put in. Normally I would just copy that down, but I prefer if that was a. That's going to be that. It goes like this. So it's kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's like what it goes like this. So the melody we're going to go. Goes. Oops, no, made a mistake. Let's undo that because that needs to be that. So I'm just going to copy that little phrase a couple of times because the rhythm is pretty similar throughout this. It goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall. Goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and the major lift. Just for simplicity, let's copy that and then edit it. Goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, and that's very quick. I might keep that just as I might take a bit of artistic license there and keep that as just one note rather than and there, because it's going to be quite tricky to play those two notes in quick succession. Minor fall and the major lift, major lift. Major lift. And there's because it's going to go the baffled king. The baffled king composing hallelujah. So I'm going to, actually, let's crack on with the melody. Baffled king, baffled king. That's a crotchet. The baffled king composing hallelujah. My dog has woken up. Right, I'm getting there. Bear with. That's just going to be a tie there. Okay, that'll do for there. I need to. Again, I'm going to split the system there just so I know that that's the end of that 4-bar section. So I'm going to put some chords in here because it reminds me of what harmony I'm going to need to put in there. So that's going to be, so it's the 1 chord, G. And I'll remove my chord symbols in a minute. Goes like this, the 4th, oops. Goes like this, the 4th, oops, that's too early. Goes there, 5th, E minor, minor fall, and the major lift. In fact, that stays on C, doesn't it? Because it's a sort of a C add 6 chord. The baffle. That's D. King. Then we go to this excellent chord. It's going to be like a B7 chord. holding. You have to wait. My dog's just woken up. It doesn't normally take well to being told to wait. Okay, so it's just one bar of each. Sometimes it's the easiest things is I still need to play through them just to remind myself. What's going on? Okay, that's good. Right, that'll do there. Because they're not terribly helpful, I'm going to delete the chord symbols from here. I just want the diagrams. I just want the symbols because sometimes the diagrams are a bit misleading because it's sort of implying to the when you're learning it that that's the way you have to play it, but actually it might not be the best voicing in the context that we're in. So I'll get rid of those, and I'm going to drop in some bass now. So. That kind of vibe is what I'm going to go for. Just a simple like 1 2 3 1 2 3 sort of kind of a bass sort of arpeggio, and those are going to be eighth notes. Oops, better open the door because the dog won't be able to get in. Come back. So drop that in, and then we're going to go to there, like that. Pressing the R button will drop in a repeat of the last note, then I can just use the cursors to move it up and down where I need it. C, I'm just going to go straightforward arpeggio, C, E, G. Okay, so now I'm going to go, D, A, and then I'm going to leave that one there because it's the next note in the arpeggio would be the second string, and that's taken up by the melody note, so I can't really play the same note, the same string twice. It doesn't make, that wouldn't be physically possible, so twice at the same time. So that's fine. I'll just tie that, leave that note hanging, and the effect should be quite should be straightforward. I'll copy those two into the tab stave, and hopefully Sibelius will have interpreted it into something logical. Yeah, sure enough, it's used the fingerings I wanted to. Sometimes it puts the notes in slightly odd places because it assumes you mean something, but it's not quite as you intended it to be. Right, let's carry on. Let's right, now this is an interesting one because that chord, what am I going to do here? That's a slightly odd chord because it's like a C6 for the second half of the bar. So I'm going to go, okay, let's not overthink it. That needs to be, let's just put those in, drop in the arpeggio. There we go, and then the C chord. Make sure I'm putting in the right note values rhythmically. What do we want to do? Okay, right, I'll make it this will make sense when I drop it into the tab stave. What I think I'm going to do is this. Actually, no. Let's keep that as a straightforward arpeggio. and then the left hand fingering is going to need to change here. Let's put that G in the right octave. And then, okay, artistic decision, I'm going to make that, this is going to be a little bit of a funny sort of C6, 9 chord. Let me just put that in the tab stave so you can see it. I'm just going to feed my dog in a minute, he's going to start complaining. Right, so that's going to be a bar. That's going to need to be a bar, so I'll show you the shape with my left hand. And actually that leads quite nicely into the D chord that's coming in the next bar, because you've got a D here. And we're up the neck slightly, so this is a slightly trickier part to play, but sometimes you've got to just push the boat out. I'll tell you what, let's make that a D7 chord, that'll be nice. See, I'm arranging at speed here because I want to show you the process without getting too bogged down. So we're going to have this like D7 shape like that. Now here, I can't put, I could put, but I want to keep this not too difficult to play, so I'm going to actually make that like a B7 over F sharp in a minute. I'll adjust the chord symbol, so it's going to be a little bar. So it's not too high, we're not going too high at the neck, because remember you might want to cap up at the 5th fret for this. So we're going to go, okay, the dog's just settled down on the sofa, so that might have bought me a minute or 3. And that's going to be, that's a D sharp, because it's a funny chord. It's out of the key, this chord, because it's that sort of lovely dominant chord leading onto the 6th chord of the key. Actually, that I realise that's not quite right in the melody. That's better. Okay, so we've sort of climbed up quite nicely in the accompaniment. So let me just check I just did that right. So I want to go. Yeah, okay, again, I'm going to not get too bogged down and just work fairly quickly. It's good for me, this is cathartic, not to get too bogged down. So just going to keep it simple, just those straightforward arpeggios, because that follows that nice climb up in the bass. It's not all too low register. And I tell you what, just to conclude that, because we've got a bar of spare at the end, let's just copy those 3 notes. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Let's try that again. Let's copy those to there. Why is it doing that to me? I don't know. Let's try again. Never mind. If I do that and then press R, no, it's doing the whole bar. Never mind. Let's stop messing around, Tristan. Maybe if I put the arpeggio going sort of up and over like that, that would be quite nice. I'll get rid of that and then put the stem direction more logically, because there's no melody there, so it doesn't need to be too complicated, that bar. Right, let's just copy that onto the tab stave and see what we got. Let's get rid of these. symbols, don't need them doubled up, got them in the notation. Okay, so straight away I can see that Sibelius has made some decisions for me that I don't like, so I need to drag that because I want to put this voicing as a bar chord up on the 5th fret. So we're going to drag these around. I wanted to keep this recording under 20 minutes, it's just gone over, but we're at a point in the song where we can sort of take a pause and see where we got to. Right, so there we go. I'm going to do... no, I'll leave it like that. It would be nice to... I don't want to get it too cluttered. I was thinking that might all go on one page, but it'll be too busy. So there we go. What I'll do is I'm going to just play through all of that, just to round things off slightly. So I'm working in the gathering gloom here, so sorry about the quality of the colour, but I'll probably have to scroll down the page and get out of the way. So, oops. That's the thing about arranging in real time, you haven't practiced it yourself. Oh, that's the wrong note. It goes. Oh no, that was right. Oops. I was going to go hallelujah. We're back to where we started. So you get the idea. That's a little window into my way of working. Not sure if it's of any interest at all, but it's a bit warts and all, so you can see like how I have to make a few decisions here and there, and sort of practice on the fly, make things up as I go along a little bit, and hopefully get it up to a standard where I can actually do it some justice. So I'll finish this off and I'll post it up as a lesson in Patreon, yeah. Thanks for, if you're still watching, congratulations. I've no idea if this is remotely interesting, but it's just interesting and cathartic for me. All right, cheers, bye.